You know, in this week's Parshas Mesai, we find a fascinating thing. We find something that actually began in Parshas Pinchas. There is a notice given in Parshas Pinchas, but we only kick into action in this week. In Parshas Pinchas, the Eibusha says to Moshe, Tzarer es ha-Midyanim. So Rashi says, remember these Midianites. Remember what scams, what terrible things they did for you. V'hikisem boisam. And you'll hit them, you'll hurt them. And because of what they terribly did. And that's it. And that's what the pasuk says in Parshas Pinchas. Just store it in your mind and remember the time will come that we'll have to take revenge for what they did. We turn to this week's Parsha, in Parshas Mטות. Over here Hashem says to Moshe, okay, Nikoim nikmas b'nei Yisrael me'esa Midyanim. I want you to take revenge for what the Midyanim did. And here's a fascinating thing, as Rashi points out, that the Eibusha says to Moshe, take revenge for what he did, for what the Midyanim did to Bnei Yisrael. And when Moshe turns around and instructs the people to fight, he says, Nikmas Hashem b'Midyan. Let's fight to take revenge for what the Midyanim did against the Eibusha. And when the Eibusha says it to Moshe, he says, Me'es ha-Midyanim. Take revenge what they did against the Jews. Me'es ha-Midyanim. Against all the plural Midianites. When it comes to when Moshe turns to the Yidden and he says, let's fight this war, he says, Nikmas Hashem b'Midyan, singular. And both of these are answered with the same point. It depends whose fight you're fighting. Are you fighting Nikmas Yisrael? Are you fighting to take revenge for what they did to the Yidden? So by the Yidden, a big army is many people. If you're fighting Midyanim, there's a lot of people, so it's a revenge against the plural. But once you're fighting the mission, the statement against what they fought against Hashem, whatever is considered one Midyan. Whack them all out. They're all as one for the Eibusha. And that's the difference between the two. Now the question is, as Rashi points out, why the Eibusha was so angry and adamant that you should take revenge from the Midyanim, and yet it doesn't say anywhere we should fight the Mayavim. So Rashi gives a basic difference between the two. Rashi says that the Mayavim, they came to fight the Jews because of Yira. They were afraid. They were afraid that the Jews are going to be too strong. The Midyanim, as Rashi puts it, fought Nisabru Riv Leilahem. They got mixed into a fight that they weren't even supposed to be involved. What do you care what's happening with the Yidden? And because they did that is much, much worse. And Rashi gives a second reason, for the Mayavim, we didn't want to hurt them because there are special diamonds who eventually will come from the Mayavim, and they are Ruth and Naomi. Okay? But when you're fighting Hashem's war, it's genuine. Now, what does Midyan stand for? Midyan stands for butting into an issue that you have no part of. It's just plain old fight, plain old hatred. That's what Midyan is all about. And sinas in Kabbalah and Chassidus, this is a very big stress. Put together strong people to fight against Midyan, because Midyan is a terrible level of sinas chinam, a sinner for no reason. The guy never did anything for you. It's a chutzpah b'lei tam, and that type of sinner we have to eradicate completely. We find something fascinating. We made now a difference between Midyan and Moav, but we find there's a similarity between Midyan and Amalek. Amalek we are also commanded to fight. But we also find that when they chose the people to fight against Amalek and chose the people to fight against Midyan, it's funny. It doesn't say anybody who's strong, anybody who knows how to fight. It says, Heicholzu me'itzchem anoshim. And Rashi says, the tzaddikim. We need tzaddikim to fight. Why do we need tzaddikim to fight? Because the only ones who are able to fight Midyan and Amalek for real are tzaddikim. What's unique about Amalek and Midian? Amalek and Midian are both came against, fighting against the Eibishter. Ashakarcha b'derech, they're desecrating Hashem's name. When you're fighting a war of somebody who hurt you personally, fine, you'll lay it all out and everybody could fight. When you're fighting a war that really doesn't hurt you personally, you're fighting a Uman Kiddush Hashem. For that, we have to make sure it's somebody who knows what the war is all about and somebody who feels for the Kiddush Hashem. And that's why by these two wars, Rashi says they were tzaddikim, only tzaddikim were able to fight this war. Why does the Torah say that this is when does Moshe Rabbeinu fight this war? Right by the end of his life, after he does that, he's able to return to Shemayim, return his soul to Shemayim. Why is it that Moshe Rabbeinu had to fight this war right now by the end? And the answer is given that from one hand, if the Moshe Rabbeinu would have told the Yidden to fight this war after he passes on, then somebody would think Moshe Rabbeinu was covering up for the Midianites because he owed them a favor, because he was raised by them, or he has a father-in-law, Yisroi. So the Eibishter says, no, whoever, whatever, if they fight, they desecrate Hashem's name, you fight for them. That's one answer. Another answer is given in Chassidish Svarim, that we know Zel U'uma Zeh Asel Lekim. Whenever there's a strong Kedusha, there has to be strong Klippa. Whenever there's strong Klippa, there has to be something to balance it out. So now, for Bilam to be eradicated, as we find in this pasuk, the Bilam is eradicated, the pure evil, it had to be balanced out, that there shouldn't be an overdose of Kedusha. So Moshe Rabbeinu passes away, and Bilam passes away, lahavdil. It should be fair and balanced. If not, it is not a fair fight. And it's interesting to note that this is what we're learning now, reading this week in Parshas Shabbos Reish Chodesh of, and this year it will actually be 1956 years from the Churban. And it's just a good gematria to know, 1956 is gematria, the pasuk, Yehuda La'elam Teshev, V'Yerushalayim L'dar V'dar. We are going to be everlasting. And now, a lot of people are thinking, what's going to be the menu next week when we're not allowed to eat meat? So I want to tell you that there's actually a shalah. There's a shalah says that there were people who throughout their life, not only in the 9 days, once a week, they wouldn't eat meat, Zeichel L'churban, they wouldn't eat meat on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday of the week, they wouldn't eat meat. Just to have a Zeichel L'churban. So when you have a change of menu, even in a change of food, you're able to make a Zeichel L'churban. And somebody pointed out, Michael, food. The word Michael, the word food, you could use that for a remez, to remember something good. Michael, Mem Aleph Chaf Lamed, is ki mechakim anachnu lach. Even what you choose to eat. If you're not eating fleishik, you're eating only milchiks, remember it's because ki mechakim anachnu lach. We are hoping and praying to live the times of Mashiach.